Take a look at the person next to you and say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love, we come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love. Now look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every walk of life, every creed and color, every creed and color. In kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together.
Encore. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity of Springfield. We're going to begin our service in song. We love that song. It's not that song that we're going to do. We're going to do number 10 in the Blue Songbook, Good Morning World, number 10.
Good morning, world. Good morning, universe. I'm on my way for a wondrous day. I thank God now for great and glorious things, and I'm excited. Great things are coming my way. Here comes the sun up in the sky. Here comes a bluebird passing by, and all the world awakes to say, may joy be yours today. Good morning, world. Good morning, universe. I'm on my way to a wondrous day. I thank God now for great and glorious things, and I'm excited. Great things are coming my way. Here comes the sun up in the sky. Here comes a bluebird passing by, and all the world awakes to say, may joy be yours today. May joy be yours today.
That was a fun song. Thank you, Gay and Alyssa. Well, we light the Christ candles, a part of our connection to the greater unity movement, and connect and hold individual ministries in prayer each week. And this week we hold all the ministries in the state of Tennessee in prayer. So let's just go within for a moment and make that interconnection with Spirit. And we send blessings of love and support to everybody in the state of Tennessee. And we extend that blessing of love and support to our world, to our planet Earth, and to all 8 billion of us learning to get along. And we send special blessings to those parts of the world where there's conflict, where there's war, where there's misunderstanding. And we pray for peace. Thank you, God. Amen. And now I invite Chris Smith to share our announcements.
Welcome. We are so glad you are here. We extend a special welcome to those of you visiting today for the first time. On your way in today, you should have received a welcome packet. We also have a gift for you. Please see one of our greeters after today's service. Unity is a worldwide spiritual movement. We are an inclusive community, and we welcome all people. Reiki treatments will be offered after the service in the Reiki room. Use the sign-up sheet located in the foyer or ask any of our Reiki practitioners wearing an orange lanyard to receive a free 12 to 15-minute treatment. If you are number 1 and number 2 on the sign-up sheet, go to the Reiki room after the service to begin your treatment. Other participants, please continue to enjoy fellowship in Margaret Kane Hall until you are called by one of the practitioners. The 9 a.m. Spiritually Speaking class is currently studying Discover the Power Within You by Eric Butterworth. Get your copy and join us for a study of this Unity classic. Please note that the Mindful Monday Peace Circle will not be meeting tomorrow, May 25th, in observance of Memorial Day. Wednesday at 5:30 p.m., Karen Kelly will lead the gathering meditation via Zoom, creating a sacred space for quiet, introspective meditation. You are invited to participate in the monthly Healing Crystal Bowls meditation with Peggy Patty on Thursday, June 4th at 6 p.m. Immerse yourself in the soothing, healing vibrations as we send harmony, peace, and balance into our community and into our world. Suggested love offering of $15. Unity of Springfield will have a presence at Jacksonville Pride this Saturday, May 30th, located at Twisted Tree Music Hall. If you would like to volunteer at our booth, contact Jen Miller. And I will invite Reverend Alden to the platform at this time.
Next slide. We will be starting a class in June that will run all the way through the summer based on this booklet that we just got in called Spiritual Keys to Overcoming Adversity. And this will be on Wednesdays at 1, kind of like we did the class earlier this year, and based on the different essays that are in this book. So it's a discussion class, lasts an hour. Hope you can come. It's not one where you have to go to all 15 of them. I think there's 15, but each is an individual class. So I want to make you aware of this right now because June's coming up, and these are right outside the door on the left side here. And you just take one with you and come to class.
And please note, those booklets are free of charge. We are planning another art show to start in June. This show will be a photography-only show, and we are looking for photographers to exhibit their art. Contact Doug Brackney if you are interested. The show will kick off with an opening reception on Saturday, June 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. Enjoy an evening of art, music, and refreshments. We hope you come out to support this ongoing fun event. A group trip to Unity Village is being arranged for October. Save the dates and plan to join us. What are those dates? October 19th through the 22nd. There are sign-up sheets in the foyer and Margaret Kane Hall. This will be an opportunity to build camaraderie with each other while having a meaningful spiritual experience. Emails are sent out weekly that have information on current happenings and how to join in events. To sign up for our emails, ask a greeter for a yellow card to fill out or visit our website to subscribe. Also, check out our website for up-to-date information at unityofspringfieldil.org. That's unityofspringfieldil, all lowercase, all run together, .org. We would like to give special thanks to our platformers on Sunday. Thank you, Chris. You're welcome. Chris Smith, Linda Cantor, Bill Shepard, Linda Schneider, and Shelley Kaufman. Creating our lives and our world through the thoughts and beliefs we hold in mind is a spiritual principle we practice at Unity of Springfield. We also know this truth: together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. Our Unity vision statement, again, together, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our Unity mission statement, together, we recognize God is love, individualized in all people. Therefore, we provide a positive environment for spiritual growth that empowers all to be God's love in the world. And our youth and family ministry affirmation, again, together, our youth and family ministry empowers the next generation with loving kindness and acceptance, creating a safe, sacred space for children, teens, and young adults to explore, discover, and experience spirituality. And at this time, we will invite up Deb Smith to share with us today's daily word.
Good morning. The word for today is comforted. The affirmation: secure in the love of the divine, I am comforted. Taking time to remember my loved ones who have passed and envisioning them alive in God brings me comfort and softens the edges of my sadness. When those who care about me reach out to offer me solace, I accept it as the love of God flowing through them. When I remember the good times spent with my loved ones, my heart feels lighter as a smile crosses my lips. These tender moments remind me that God is always with me, even in times of grief. I need not shrink from the pain of loss or busy myself to avoid feeling it. Instead, I lean in to the comforting love of God to see me through it. This love lifts me and soothes my aching heart. The power of God within gives me strength to persevere with courage and fortitude. And from the scriptures, Isaiah 66:13, as a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. You shall be comforted in Jerusalem. The word for today again is comforted, and join me for the affirmation: secure in the love of the divine, I am comforted. And before we hear today's meditation and message from Reverend Alden, we will have special music with our youth and family ministry performing Sanctuary, page 36 of the Blue Book.
You want to sit here? You want to sit right here? No? Okay, stand right here. Next to mine. You want to sit down? Yeah. You want to sit? No? You want to stand? Okay. All right, I think we're ready.
about to get your first groupie.
They're so adorable, you know. Well, we dive into that same youthful, effervescent energy right now, but do so in the calmness and stillness of meditation. And so I invite you to prepare for a time of prayerful meditation, of intentional contemplation and receptivity to the flow, the influx of Spirit, of God. And so we relax into this experience by just letting go, feeling comfortable where we are experiencing this time of meditation. And we take in a deep breath, breathing in the air around us, and exhaling and letting go of the breath. And the more that we can breathe in a free-flowing, relaxed way, the more our mind, our awareness becomes calm, peaceful, and free-flowing. And so we continue in this way for the next several minutes as we open our hearts to this flow of infinite life, light, and love. This flow of spiritual energy and power. We follow in the way of the master teacher, Jesus, when he said, "Seek first the kingdom of God." And we understand also through his words that the kingdom of God is within every one of us. And it's in this inner state of consciousness, this inner place of expanded spiritual awareness, that we're able to accept and receive and embrace the inspiration, the messages, the guidance, the confidence that we need to take our best steps forward in life. And the more we can do that, the less that we'll be distracted by thoughts of doubt, fear, worry, excessive concern, and wondering what's just around the corner. We're able to free ourselves from these outer thoughts and distractions, and to really grab onto, invest ourselves in the good that is flowing through us, for us, and for everyone in this world. Everybody has the same access to this flow of spirit, and it's called by many different names. The name is not as important as the experience, as the feeling that we're spiritually connected, that we're one. And through this connection, we're empowered to fulfill what is ours to fulfill. We're empowered to learn the lessons that we need for our spiritual growth. We're here to learn to be compassionate and respectful of our fellow spiritual human beings. And so here in this moment right now, we are one. We are in the flow. And all we have to do is be willing, be open to, in a sense, simply say to the infinite power of Spirit, work through me. I'm ready. And so let us, for the next few minutes, sit in the quiet, calm, and peace of this place, or wherever we're experiencing this time of meditation. For it is in the stillness that the word, the inspiration, and the ideas of the divine express through us. For a moment, in the silence. From the stillness, from the center, from the core of our being, from the spiritual aspects of who we are, we now emerge from this time of meditation and contemplative prayer, and do so with renewed faith, confidence, and positive expectation of the good that lies before us, of the good that is expressing through us and through the universe. And we see this power and energy being a light that guides our way and helps others to find theirs. And we give thanks for this understanding and this realization. And we do so in the name and through the power of the living Christ Spirit within us all. And so it is. Amen. Well, I think we're all pretty aware that this is Memorial Day weekend. And if you don't know, well, there's an announcement. But I think you're all aware of that. And there are many tributes that are going on this weekend, and especially tomorrow, around the United States, in honor of those who passed away, who died through their service to our country. I think for a lot of people, most people, Memorial Day is just kind of another long weekend. You kind of look forward to an opportunity to be with family and friends, have a barbecue, turn on the Indy 500. You know, it's a holiday, and it's a kind of a holiday where, sort of like the first one of the year where you can really go outside and not have to wear a jacket, you know, because the weather tends to improve quite a bit. And it's considered kind of the kickoff to summer, I think, for many people. You may know someone or someone whom you remember who died in their service to our country, died serving the United States Armed Forces. When I started thinking about that myself, whether I knew anybody who passed away from being in the military, I'd think about it for a minute. And then I realized there was somebody. My father-in-law. This is Jack Klink. You can see his vital statistics. Born January 29, 1932, Lansing, Michigan. Passed away July 28, 1989, Safety Harbor, Florida. He lived to be 57 years old. You might be wondering, well, what happened? 57 years old when he passed away? Why is he considered to be someone whose service in the military, which happened quite a bit earlier than the 1980s, can be considered such a person? Well, let me show you why.
Turns its most ominous page far out in mid-Pacific, where in the Eniwetok Atoll, the world's most awesome weapon is readied for detonation. The pictures you are about to see have been released by the Department of Defense under presidential order. Here on Ilujilab Island, the cab or housing for the first hydrogen bomb takes shape after months of preparation. In this building, the cataclysmic force of the H-bomb will be released. Working as a task force team, the Army, Navy, and Air Force work against time to prepare the installations for M-Hour under the supervision of scientists who have labored for years to develop the thermonuclear weapon. Ilujilab, the shot island is almost ready for the sacrifice. With final preparations almost complete, jeeps with workers leave the island, which is connected with two others by a plywood tube. Filled with helium, it houses the hundreds of instruments which will record the explosion data, which is the prime objective of the test. On board the Estes, flagship of the task force, officers go over final details around a chart of the affected atoll, which spans a distance of 25 miles. Here is the very heart and nerve center of Operation Ivy, as the thermonuclear test is known. Under the direction of General Clarkson, Task Force Commander, M-Hour approaches with terrifying rapidity.
Turn away. Do not remove goggles or face burst until 10 seconds after the first light.
Minus 15 seconds. Minus 10 seconds. 9er, 8, 7, 6, 5er, 4, 3, 2, 1, T0.
The ball of fire is 3 miles across as it shatters both land and sea. The shockwave races 35 miles and reaches the control ship with force enough to jar the solidly mounted camera. In seconds, the fireball erupts into a geyser that towers 25 miles into the stratosphere, spreading into a 100-mile wide mushroom cloud. Rising with the cloud are millions of cubic feet of radioactive ash, a virulent byproduct of the fusion bomb that will shower down over the area in approximately 1 hour. Helicopters have a narrow margin of safety to flit across the blast zone and report back. Still unknown is the effect of the explosion on the atoll.
2-6 approaching ground zero. Coming up on Bogon. The detection station on Bogon appears to be in good shape. No visible sign of plywood tube. All test islands seem to be swept clean. Ugilab is completely gone. Nothing there but water, and what appears to be a deep crater.
With its force measured in megatons, equivalent to millions of tons of TNT, the power of the thermonuclear bomb is almost inconceivable, except in direct comparison with the familiar. Here again is the firing of the first, relatively small H-bomb. Again we are in the control room. Again the emotionless count tolls the seconds to time zero of the second era, the thermonuclear era of the atomic age. Again the fireball. Now for dramatic effect, we superimpose it on the skyline of New York. The heart of the metropolis would be instantaneously transformed into an inferno, while shock and heat waves devastated the rest of the city.
Just a few facts here about this test. It was called Ivy Mike. November 1st, 1952. First fusion bomb, hydrogen bomb. The explosion produced 10.4 megatons of TNT, 700 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped at Hiroshima. The massive heat and force vaporized the Ugilab Island, leaving a deep underwater crater roughly 6,300 feet wide and 164 feet deep. And the fallout, the explosion generated a massive mushroom cloud, as we saw, that reached into the stratosphere, expanding about 100 miles across within 10 minutes. You saw the people, the soldiers, the sailors on that ship covering their eyes. That was Donna's father. That was my father-in-law. And it was because of his exposure. He was told by the doctors later why he died from cancer at Eniwetok. 1952, but delayed until 1989. There he is, on the right. I had a friend in the ministry. His name was Reverend Bernard Dozier. I got to know Bernard early in my career, soon after I was ordained, so that's a while ago. And Bernard was a veteran minister. He was quite a character. And we kept up with each other through the years. And once he retired, he started writing online these essays, just stuff that would come to him. You know, he'd write these essays and put them out, and people would read them. And I saved many of them. I want to share one of them with you right now that's entitled, Memorial Day Raises Some Questions. And he wrote, Memorial Day for those who've lost a loved one in some military conflict is every day. Part of me wonders if Memorial Day observances shouldn't celebrate the spiritual powers of peace, love, and understanding, the opposite of and cure for the warfare that took the lives of those we honor. What if instead of martial music and parades and honor guards and ceremonial gunfire, we celebrated and promoted peace by honoring those who have shown how to establish win-win solutions to disagreement? Militaristic observance simply recognizes and reinforces war as the costliest and most wasteful way of solving problems. War solves no problem. Once war is declared, the problems are put on hold until the war is over, when the winners and losers sit down to solve them by talking. Talking that, if done first, could have prevented the just concluded bloodshed. Diplomatic endings to war make the killing and destruction that precedes it all the more senseless and regrettable. Memorial Day should not glorify war, nor those who use the power to send younger citizens to early death. Oh, I know the day is supposed to link battlefield deaths to freedom for those left at home, but look at the facts. War is unpopular. It usually breaks out because petulant, irrational leaders create enemies and insist on their subjects destroying them. So youths march off to war not because they want to, but because governments threaten severe punishment if they refuse to become killers. Memorial Day doesn't seem to recognize and to honor the living dead, the survivors of the war whose minds and lives were so badly shattered they can never again know earthly peace or health or normality. Memorial Day should make us suspicious of warmongers, those who use high positions to drum up pretexts for war. It also should make those who are elected to represent us instead of us of the war industry that has kept this nation in armed conflict 93% of the time since its founding. Memorial Day should create a distaste for war, reminding us of what it's like for souls to be stripped of their innocence, freedom, and of life itself. It is for remembering the folly of war, for admitting that it is never romantic, that it is ugly, mean, and ever destructive of all that we and God create. Reverend Bernard Dozier, this is us in a Schnucks parking lot in Memphis, Tennessee, a few years ago. He had a lot to say, didn't he? I want to share a song that speaks to what Reverend Bernard Dozier was talking about here. You might have heard it before. Kind of a folk song. We need a little volume here.
He's 5'2" and he's 6'4". He fights with missiles and with spears. He's all of 31 and he's only 17. He's been a soldier for 1,000 years. He's a Catholic, a Hindu, an atheist, a Jain, a Buddhist and a Baptist and a Jew. And he knows he shouldn't kill, and he knows he always will. Kill you for me, my friend, and me for you. And he's fighting for Canada, he's fighting for France, he's fighting for the USA. And he's fighting for the Russians, and he's fighting for Japan. And he thinks we'll put an end to war this way. And he's fighting for democracy, he's fighting for the Reds. He says it's for the peace of all. He's the one who must decide who's to live and who's to die. And he never sees the writing on the wall. But without him, how would Hitler have condemned him at Laval? Without him, Caesar would have stood alone. He's the one who gives his body as a weapon of the war. And without him, all this killing can't go on. He's the universal soldier, and he really is to blame. His orders come from far away no more. They come from here and there and you and me. And brothers, can't you see? This is not the way we put the end to war.
This is a song by Buffy St. Marie, American folk singer, sung here by Donovan Leitch back in the 60s. Universal Soldier. Right now, our country, the United States, is at war with another country. And people are being killed. Americans, Israelis, Iranians, Middle Eastern people. And unfortunately and sadly, there are families who are going to mourn their relatives who passed on. Memorial Day is not a joyous, happy holiday. It's serious business. It's a holiday of inner reflection, or it should be. And it's a holiday that we hope someday, somehow, no country will need. And the only people that are happy about war are people that profit from it financially. Those who manufacture weapons for the military. That's it. Now, this part of my talk, you're sitting there and you're thinking, this talk's a real downer. I don't come here to have a speaker get all gloomy on me or overly realistic. But right now, and especially now, these things need to be said. Not just by me, but by others. So that we don't live in some sort of la-la land or state of denial about what's really going on. Maybe this doesn't, what's going on right now, affect us personally. But it affects us on a soul level, on a spiritual level. And so this needs to be shared. So let me shift some gears here into kind of a spiritual direction. Because that's what we do here at Unity, is to try to delve into the deeper meanings of not only our own teachings, but into issues in life. And Memorial Day is an opportunity for us to examine ourselves. How are we doing in life? What's important in life? What really is important? And there's something about coming to grips with our own physical mortality that compels us to ask this kind of question. What's really important? Is what I'm doing that important right now? And what really isn't? And so we can, if we choose to perform kind of a personal self-inventory about what's going on. What are our real priorities in life? Doesn't matter how old we are, wherever we happen to be. Stop, ponder the purpose of our lives, and how might we best live based on our understanding of how physical life can be, for many, quite fleeting. And so we're going to look at the legacies of others in this inventory process, and to keep asking the question, what's important? And there's something that comes to mind about what's really important when you get right down to it. And that is, how can we live life without being attached to things, materiality, our stuff? Because one of the things we realize the longer that we live is that the outer trappings of our lives are not really that important. Materialism, all the stuff we have, our houses, our cars, what's in the house. We all need shelter. We all need transportation. We all need, communication devices. We need this stuff. Personal items, stuff's meaningful to us. And there's nothing wrong, of course, there's nothing wrong with having good stuff. Up-to-date stuff. Stuff that works, stuff that we enjoy. It's okay. You know, that occurred to me. You know, yesterday afternoon, I got to share something that I did. I upgraded, after 11 years, my wheels. Let me show you. That's me. And that's me putting $75 worth of gasoline into my new wheels. Yeah. And I'm smiling, yes. I looked at the price of fuel and I thought, thank you, Strait of Hormuz. Anyway, and you might be thinking, those of you that know me, where's your infamous Volvo, Alden? What have you done? You know, your baby. What I did is I finally bought my Volvo. By the way, my Volvo's name is Luther. I bought Luther a young, cute girlfriend. Also a Swede. They speak Swedish together. I know 6 words. And here's a photo of the lovebirds meeting for the first time. It's an arranged date on Tuesday in Jacksonville at the DMV. They will perform their wedding ceremony. So you're thinking to me, why you got 2 cars? All you really need is one. You know, that's all anybody really needs if you're going to drive. Well, I decided that Luther, that's the car in front, this silver one, was going to become the designated winter vehicle in our fleet. Winter. And her, we don't have a name yet. There she is. This is, we're looking for the name, but this is a 2008 Saab 9.3. Will become the designated summer vehicle. And here's the reason why 2 cars. You see, Luther's, here's Luther again. Here's Luther. I've had this car 11 years. And when I bought it, the air conditioning worked. And then it didn't, and I had it totally rebuilt. And it worked for 5 years. And then it stopped working. And I took it to a lot of different shops. And in the last year, I took it to 2 shops. One here in Springfield called Roberts. It's way out on Wabash. They specialize in foreign vehicles. And another one in Cincinnati called Alpine Imports, to see if they could repair the air conditioning system, to see if they could repair the window on the passenger side in the front, because it's stuck up. Can you fix these? And they all came back to me and said they're irreparable. We can't get the parts. You're stuck. So for the last couple of years, I've actually been looking for a car that I like, that Luther be okay with, to become the summer vehicle, the air conditioning vehicle. I have probably looked at 1,000 cars on Facebook Marketplace. I've test driven about 4 different cars where the air conditioning worked. Right, Shelley? Yeah, I test drove one that Shelley was selling a year or 2 ago. That was a fun test drive, actually. And so, on the way back from Clinton, where I bought her, I had to turn the air conditioning down to 1 because it was freezing me out. And she's a slick automobile. Look at her. Huh? 0 to 60 in 6.9 seconds. You see, Luther can only do 0 to 60 in maybe 11. So he's going to have to work out to catch up with her. We all need transportation, reliable transportation. Whether we take a bus, whether we walk, we need good shoes, or we got to drive. Nothing wrong with having good transportation. But most of our belongings are not that important. What if we suddenly had to give up 50% of our stuff, half of it just gone? Would we be terror-stricken? Would we be feeling lost, aimless, forlorn without that stuff? Or would we perhaps feel lifted up and lightened, like our load's been lightened and I'm not, all this stuff is not possessing me anymore? You know, consider how the young man felt when Jesus said this to him. He said, if you wish to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give money to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven, and then come and follow me. And when the young man heard this word, he went away grieving, for he had many possessions. Our possessions can possess us. They can drain us. They can thwart our spiritual growth. Or we can enjoy them, but do so with a light touch, without a sense of possessiveness, because they're not that important. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, said, it may be hard for those who have become attached to material things to realize that there is an invisible real life and substance that is much more substantial and real than the material. The men of science tell us that the invisible forces have power that is millions of times more real and substantial than all the material world. So we see all the material things out here, but it's what's within. It's where the real focus needs to be for us. And also, what's important? Well, motivational speaker Leon Brown said this, one day you'll realize that material things mean nothing. All that matters is the well-being of the people you love in your life. So there's energy and power behind the material world. And we need to realize that the material things are temporal, they're changeable. Those of you who own cars, do you have the same car you started out with when you were 18? No? I'm shocked. It's not worth fretting about our stuff. The scratch on the car, the tear on your clothes. They're just cars, they're just clothes. They're nice to have. But they're not that important. What is important can be answered really with who's important. The people in our lives. The people that are around us. The connections we make with others. The feeling of love that helps us to connect with other people. When I told Donna about this talk, that I was going to talk on Memorial Day, she said, oh, you've got to look at some of the stories that are in the latest AARP magazine. How many of you get AARP magazine? A lot of hands went up. It's a great way to test the demography of a congregation by asking that question. We did that last week when I had to write down how old you were. And so there were stories in there, maybe you read some of them, of Americans and the various wars and their experiences. There was one that really jumped out at me, and I want to share about it right now. This is from the Korean War, Private J.C. Coffey by Corporal George Souza. And George Souza served the Korean War from April 51 to March 52, and spent his career as a tuna fisherman based in San Diego, and became captain of a large tuna fleet. And he calls his friend J.C. Coffey. I got married in December of 1950 and was drafted into the U.S. Army February 1951. I'd never heard of Korea. I did 3 months of basic training and was shipped over to Korea to join the 2nd Infantry Division. I was 20 years old. My unit started out at a place called Punch Bowl, the Han Basin in Gangwon province of what was then North Korea. That's where I met J.C. He was from West Virginia, and he had lied about his age and joined the Army at 16, and when I met him in 1951, he was 18. Kind of short, with curly hair, good-looking kid, and we shared a foxhole, and the temperature sometimes reached 25 degrees below zero. We couldn't make any fires, because that would give away our position. And when you live in a foxhole, you get pretty close to the people around you, and JC was tough as nails and afraid of nothing. And we fought together in the Battle of Bloody Ridge, and from there moved to Heartbreak Ridge. And in that battle, North Korea had the advantage. They were occupying the ridge, and they were trying to take it, and at that point, the North Korean tank came around the corner and fired 3 rounds, and these shots wiped out my squad, and I was the only survivor. JC got shrapnel in the face and died right there. I took shrapnel in my stomach and in my foot, and I was sent to Japan to a hospital for a month, and then I was sent back to continue fighting. I got home June 1952, and I felt it was my duty to call JC's mother because I was the last one to see him alive. That was tougher than fighting in the war, and JC's mother had me crying on the phone, and she said, he was my only son. He was only 16 when he left, and I begged him not to go, and I can still hear her voice all these years later. And that's why I salute JC's picture, which is on the wall of my office every morning. And so we honor Private J.C. Coffey right now. We send him blessings. You see, the legacies of others and their stories enrich us. And we learn about this through the observation of others, of people we don't know. And we learn through those that have had a direct impact on our life. And maybe you're thinking about somebody you know who made similar sacrifices that you've learned from. And I'm thinking about my father-in-law, Jack Klink. Here he is again. 57 years old when he passed. This is our wedding photo, if you're wondering. It doesn't seem he was around long enough. He was really cut short. He didn't get to know his own grandkids, really. Fortunately, his ex-wife, you can see her on his side there. That's Judy. She passed away last year. Remarried, and Don, her new husband, became grandfather to all our kids. So all our kids did have a grandfather. But there's a part of me that wonders and grieves about the missed interactions that they could have had or we could have had with him if he had lived beyond 57 years. And so we learn from the legacies of others. And I want you to learn a little bit about Jack right now, in a nutshell. Who was Jack Klink? Jack was hardworking, practical, and generous, very generous. In fact, when Donna and I went to him to announce our engagement, he got his wallet out and handed us $50 to go to the Justice of the Peace. I'm not making that up, by the way. So he was very thrifty. He was a professional photographer, too. And for the wedding, rather than pay for a photographer, he did all the photography himself with a Rolleiflex camera. If you're familiar with that kind of camera, you know, with the medium, the kind of film you have to roll through. Yeah. Did it all himself. And how did he get in this photo? He set the timer and ran in there and got right next to his ex-wife. And whenever I'd walk through Kmart and they'd have the blue light special, remember the blue light special at Kmart? I'd think of him. That was Jack. Thrifty and handy. Wow, was he handy. Good with his hands. A really good mechanic. I remember him changing the water pump out one time when I was at the farm in Michigan on my 66 Dodge Dart. That's me at the farm in Michigan. This isn't the repair scene, but this is me there. and it was leaking, and he went and got the part and pretty much did all the work. I was just his assistant. Jack Klink was somebody who was ready to help others at the drop of a hat. We can learn from the legacies of others who've passed on. And so Memorial Day, this day of remembering, this day of respect, we respect those who passed away as a result of their military service, and we realize what's really important in life. What's important in life is this little round ball right here upon which we all live. It's our world. There's no second place to go yet. This is the only option. So what's important in life is how we treat this world. And weaponry, especially the one you saw a video of earlier, is not the way to treat this world. The only viable option is to choose not to get involved with war, because it's the most ridiculous way to sort out human issues. I will not wish you a happy Memorial Day, but a blessed Memorial Day, as you do your own self-evaluation. And now, we're going to sing. It's a song in the Blue Book. It's a great song, number 40. Thank you for this day. Number 40. Maybe the kids have come in. Let's see. Here they go. Here they go. You have stuff. Oh, they got stuff.
We have some instruments out as well. I would like to have a shaker.
Oh, gosh. Well, look at that bell. We're gonna jazz it up here, guys.
Ready?
That was fun. Thank you, guys. Well, while they're collecting the shakers and stuff, we're going to be receiving the offering. We really appreciate the support you give to our ministry here. And if you came here today with a gift to share, we have glass bowls in the front and back of the church to receive your gift. If you'd like to give electronically, we can handle that, no problem. Just go to our website, Springfield, il.org, and the donate link that you're watching online right now. There should be a link showing up on your screen. You can also text to give to 217-335-5121, or you can mail checks at 417 East Court, Delia, Springfield 62703. And now let us join together in affirming our offering blessings together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful. Amen. All right, well, let's now pray a prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now let us go in circles and sing, let there be peace on earth.